Hi, thank you for joining me today on my channel. I appreciate you stopping by. Today we're going to talk about baggage. Now, all of us going outdoors camping, we should take some things along, right? We don't want to just go out into the woods empty-handed. If nothing else, we want to carry some basic essentials. Now, the baggage we're going to talk about today is very unique to a very specific situation. Of course, you can use this for other purposes, but this particular piece of equipment goes all the way back to 1882. Now, this is a Duluth pack, specifically a Duluth portage pack. Now, before we get into this, I gotta say thank you to a few people. I want to acknowledge some. First of all, my patrons on Patreon, because without them, this channel would not be existent, so we appreciate everything that they do. And I also want to thank Sarge Vining and the Bannerman's Facebook group, because without them, I would not have got this. So if you haven't checked out my various Facebook groups that I constantly promote, check out my description below, because there's some good ones, especially if you like classic camping. You really need to get in on that, because there's a lot of great discussion, a lot of unique pieces. There's no way that I can own all of them, right? So there's a great group of people on there who are willing to share, give advice, and show what they have, which is really, really neat. So check out those groups. All right, back to this pack. Now, the Duluth portage pack, just like it says, portage. I'm sure you're thinking, what does portage mean? Or maybe, what is portage for, if you're not used to that term? Portages are those links in between one water to the next water. Specifically, it's used a lot in the boundary waters of Minnesota, in between the United States and Canada, our great neighbors to the north. Ironically, or maybe non-ironically, I don't know, cause and effect, this pack was designed by a French Canadian who immigrated to the United States, decided to settle in Minnesota, and he came out with this particular design. Now, I can't say it's super fancy, but it's extremely practical and is very useful, especially on a canoe trip. So we can see that this bag right here, this is my Scout Yucca 574. It's the largest backpack that Scouts make. Now, granted, Scouts are kids, right? But, this was pretty much a standard size, even for adults during the time period. And I use this bag all the time for my weekend camping, and I can fit everything that I need in this bag. Don't need much more than this. But you can see how this bag is so much smaller than the Duluth portage pack. Now, why is that? Well, that's because you got different uses, right? If we're taking this Yucca bag, even when we go backpacking, probably only going to be out for a weekend, and if it is longer than a weekend, we can stock up. Now, when you go canoeing, you are literally taking everything with you. Everything. Your canoe is going to be your car. The bag is going to be everything else that you need to go along the way, right? So it is a lot larger, because you got to take your tent, you got to take your blankets, you got to take your clothing, you got to take your food, you got to take how you're going to prepare your food, right? And any tools that you may need along the way. So this is your livelihood. So it's going to be a little bit larger. The nice thing is that you can use this for your weekend camping. It's a little bit overkill, but even when it's underfilled, it's still a very comfortable bag. For example, right now, I just have my 5-pound blanket and my shelter half on one side and the other. That's all it is. And you can see by the straps that I could load this down with so much more. They don't put these long straps just for looks, right? Like, this thing could bulge out if need be. I could fit my pots, I could fit my food, I can fit my clothes, I can fit some extra stuff in there. Because if you're out there, even if you're planning on being there for like a weekend, you want to take extra stuff because you're going out in the wilderness. That's what this was designed for. This bag, sure, you're going out probably in a prepared trail and things like that. You might be doing some frontier backpacking, but for the most part, you know exactly where you're going to be. You know that there's going to be civilization fairly close. With this, that's not the case. You have to take some things into consideration, especially the time period when this was made. Now, the Duluth bag here has some issues. It's really, really old. I don't know how old it is, but it has all the marks of a very early 20th century Duluth pack. So it could be 100 years old, might be slightly under 100 years old. It's not one of the most original ones that was made in 1882, but it is pretty old. And what I like about it, it is personalized with Dwayne's. So someone definitely wanted to make sure that they took ownership of this, and that just speaks to me a lot. Now, Duluth pack has a fantastic heritage, not just because of how long it's been around, not just because it's an American company with a Canadian heritage to it, but because they stand behind all their products. Now, they have a lifetime guarantee on all their products, and if you have something that's damaged, you can send it in, and if they can repair it, they'll repair it. I'd like to try to talk to somebody over at Duluth Pack to see if they'd be willing to take a look at this, because there is a little bit more extensive damage, and because of its age, certainly not my lifetime, I don't know if they'd do it. So Duluth, if you're watching this video, or if someone on there knows someone from Duluth, share this video. I'd appreciate it, because there is some damage that needs repaired, and I got it that way. I don't really take this out camping because of that. I'm still waiting. But man, this has got a lot of life left in it. It's really well made. Everything about this says it could be used for 100 more years. That says something, doesn't it? That says something. All right, so let's take a look at some of the features. We have 3 straps over here. Like I said, plenty long, so you can get this bulging out. It's an envelope style pack, which means it's literally just basically 2 pieces of cloth that's sandwiched together, right? It doesn't have any type of bellowing like this here, where you got the panels that are separately stitched. It doesn't have that. Now, Duluth packs today do have the bellows, so they can bulge out a little bit more, but this one does not, which also speaks to its age. If we take a look at the backside, we've got these 2 really wide straps, nice heavy duty leather, but they're not stiff. And we got the smaller straps down here to adjust, plenty of adjustment. We see this here. This is actually fairly unique to Duluth at this time, this double strap, to make sure that even if something comes undone, you got this one last resort that may save your pack from falling apart. That's pretty good, especially if you're out in the wilderness. So we have 1 piece of leather, 2 pieces of leather, 3 pieces of leather just on this side. Now I'm going to put this on. I'm going to show you how it looks and feels just with those 2 items in it. All right, my friends. So this pack is not terribly heavy as it is. These wide straps really help to distribute the weight. And what I really like about the placement of these wide straps and how they split at the yoke is I don't feel it pinching against my neck whatsoever. I'm also a big guy. I weigh 221 pounds, so 6'1", 221 pounds. Usually on packs, I get a little bit of pinching here in the sides, but as you can see, this is perfectly placed for an adult male my size. I don't feel any pinching whatsoever right there. Now, I'm sure if I weighed this down completely, I would certainly feel it up here. There's no belt strap, for my waist, or there's no sternum strap either. We could alleviate that if we really wanted to. But as it is, this is actually really comfortable. And I'll show you how it looks from behind. So you take a look at that. Like it's a large pack, right? You can put a lot of stuff in this. Now, they did make a design that had the tump line that came across your head. This is not one of those that has the tump line. I've never really used a tump line. Don't know if I'd like a tump line. Sarge Vining did a great video on the tump line. If you want to check out his channel, he explains it. I think he even demonstrates it in his video. It just looks terribly awkward to me, but as a just standard pack, this is comfortable. This is really good. All right, let's open it up, and I'll show you some of the other cool features inside that may sway you and tell you, like, this is high quality stuff, definitely worth the money if you can find one that's affordable, or if you can buy one new, because they are a little pricey, but you get what you pay for when it comes to camping gear generally. It's definitely an investment, and look at this. It's around 100 years old or older, and it's still being used. Your grandkids could inherit this, and it'd still be just as great. So it's not just an investment for you, it's an investment for the future. All right, so as we open this up, throw the straps open, take out my 5-pound Civil War wool blanket, my 1910 shelter half, and we take a look at these features. Now this is a single thickness of canvas, but there are some areas that does have double canvas. I have another bag I'm going to show you in a different video. It is also a Duluth pack. It's very unique. It's a special purpose pack. This came along with it, and it's also just as solidly built. It is amazing. But this canvas is it's not super heavyweight. It's not like military heavyweight, but it's heavyweight enough that it protects what it needs to protect. What I like about looking at old stuff, especially canvas, it usually fades, like my Boy Scout uniforms from 100 years ago, my Boy Scout packs, they all kind of fade to this light tan, almost bleached white canvas. But if we put it inside out, you'll see what the original color is. It's like opening up a Christmas gift. All right, let's start with the front of the pack. So this is the pack that would face, on the outside of you, not towards your back. We got this little pocket. Now this pocket is a heavier cotton. It's not a canvas, but it's a heavier cotton. It's not lightweight. It's really strong. This is where you would put your first aid kit, your maybe your fire kit in case you need it, maybe a snack, and certainly your poncho or your rain gear, something like that you need to get to right away. First aid kit should be at the top of your list. And then, see that gorgeous olive drab color? If we take a look at the supports. Now these are leather supports. So you have leather, canvas, leather, and of course the straps themselves are made out of leather. So this is heavily supported. You can see that the canvas is double thickness canvas here. So it's not just leather, even the canvas is double thickness. This is designed not to pull out. The rivets are heavy duty rivets. The leather is still in fairly supple shape. I don't remember if I conditioned these when I first got it or not. I don't think I did. I think I forgot about conditioning these. So this is exactly as I found it. I conditioned all the other leather. I think I even conditioned, yeah, definitely conditioned this up here. I can feel it. So speaking of up here, here's another support point. This is where the envelope bag, you have the two pieces of cloth come together, and up here at a stress point, they put a leather tab for support. That's good craftsmanship right there, right? You don't want your bag out in the middle of nowhere to start falling apart. What I really like about it is this really old rubberized material here. Like, this is not vinyl, this is like old school rubberized material, and you can even see the cloth on the other side. That's neat. I get giddy about those kind of details. It's starting to come undone, right? The stitching's pretty old, but this is really nice because in a canoe, no matter what you do, you're gonna get a little bit of water in your canoe, right? So you can set your bag facing upward, and even if there's just a little bit of water, your stuff's gonna stay pretty dry. That's pretty nice, right? You can set it on the ground and it's gonna stay pretty dry, even if it's raining. So that's a great feature. And if we take a look on the back side, look at that big hunk and chunk of leather right there, and all the double stitches, all the different rivets. Like, this is built rugged. It is not going to tear out. Even after 100 and some years, I would not be afraid of using this. And there's some pieces of equipment I can't say that about, especially when it comes to fabric usage. This one is outlasted the test of time. I can see why Duluth backs up everything that they make, right? Now, if you've liked this video, please do me a favor and click like. That way other people find it. We really appreciate it. It helps them find this channel. You'll be doing them a favor. Thank you. My brothers and sisters, I appreciate you joining me on this journey and watching this video. If you made it to the end, if you want to check out the video about the Trapper Nelson pack, then check out this video here. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Give a kiss hug to your loved ones, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.